Hey, welcome back in today's video. Rob Gavagan, you guys might know him. He does the true crime stuff on YouTube. Well, there's a situation involving him that absolutely no one is talking about. It's an alleged abuse of power. Apparently, he's being accused of cheating on his wife with several girls from the internet while he was keeping his wife and family a secret and just generally lying. This is not a good situation, and if you're unfamiliar. Google says that Rob Gavagan, formerly known as Rob Dyke, is an American YouTuber and internet personality. Rob has two series called Seriously Strange, and why would you put that on the internet? Both horror, true crime, and comedy based, respectively. He's currently 33 years old. He has a YouTube channel of over 3.1 million subscribers. The girl that first told me about this reached out on Instagram. I'm going to keep her anonymous. Hi, I just wanted to make you aware of some that have come up about YouTuber Rob Gavagan. I have my own experiences with him and would be happy to share my story with you. I really do think it's something you should look into because it's a horrible situation. Sorry, just now seeing this. Can you tell me more about it? I was a fan of his back when I was 15 to 16 years old and I was really obsessed. He eventually started to notice me and proceeded to follow me on Twitter and Instagram and then eventually added me on Snapchat. We spoke back and forward for years, but he always used to disappear for 3 to 4 months at a time. And I never really knew why. He always said it was to do with his mental health. He never asked me for inappropriate images or anything, but he used to reply to my Snapchat stories and Instagram stories with hearts or saying I was pretty or something along those lines. He was always really flirty with me and things a lot, and we did speak about and things like that, but I was about 18 to 19 by then, and I really didn't think anything of it, but looking back now, thinking about the age gap and the power dynamic, it's also awful. We used to send Snapchat videos back and forth as well. She also shared with me some alleged screenshots from Rob to one of her friends. Rob saying, first of all, happy birthday, you darn angel you. How old are you now, 17, 18? The girl says, oh my god, hello, I'm 17. Where did you go? It's my birthday. In this screenshot, she says, I truly believe it is now. Thank you for everything. I'm just so grateful. He says, as am I. You have a special place in my heart, and you always will. Right back at you. You're amazing. One of my favorite people in this whole world. Nah, again, back at you. I'm so proud of you. You've really come so far. Not just me seeing what you've written, such as your poetry. It's really lovely to see. I'll always support you. She goes on to say that none of them knew that he was married and had a child, and they were all around 15 to 16 years old when they began speaking to him and haven't heard from him now for over a year. I just want to clarify that he never personally asked me for any inappropriate images, but he was very flirty and he made a lot of things like he did with a lot of other girls. The situation that we're going to be talking about today comes from an illustrator artist on Twitter named Jupus. Jupus posted a tweet longer on April 30th detailing the abuse of power. I wanted to verify that Jupus and Rob actually did work together. Here's a 2017 post saying, we're excited to announce Jupus is returning to do artwork for Seriously Strange. His YouTube fandom says that way back in February 2014 when he started Seriously Strange that Jupus did the artwork on that series. Here's a 2015 post of him promoting Jupus's artwork on his Facebook page. Not to mention that he's still one of Jupus's supporters on Patreon. When Jupus came out with their story on Twitter detailing the events that took place, it was followed by several other young girls who came out with their own stories about Rob. You can pause to read the whole tweet longer. Jupus says that she decided to speak out because she didn't want this to happen to any other people. She says, I refuse to take part in keeping his secret in any way because I think it's wrong. She also says that he was addicted to pills as recently as late last year. Any denial of that is false and has been on them for a long time. Opiate is a very difficult thing to overcome as some pills will get into your blood system and it will take a week of withdrawals to get rid of them. But then in other situations, some of those pills seep into your bones and can take up to months. And most people that become entrapped in this type of they do not get off them. She says that he needs help and I think he won't get it unless someone says something about it. Jupus said that they were good friends for years, but they never spoke on the telephone, and every time that she would attempt to try to do that, he would make up excuses saying, I thought he was a catfish without being a catfish. Something was off about it, but I didn't know why. She said that he went on to ask her a question, but before he did, he let her know that he knew what he was about to ask was really risky, and that he thought that maybe she would hate him for it. He then asked me to secretly sell him inappropriate images because I trusted him and I've known him for a long time and that it would be super secret. She goes on to talk about how she had feelings for Rob and was thinking that their relationship was moving to something a little bit more serious. But he said that they couldn't be together because they were on different paths, which was weird to her because they were both on social media attempting to make careers. And honestly, that does seem like very similar paths. I mean, that is the same path. It turns out that he had a secret fiance at the time and he never told me about it. I found out about this by accident and shortly after I lost interest romantically. She says that she thought that they were friends enough to where this would have come up at some point, but it never did. She says, I thought we were friends enough to where he could have just told me that, but he worded it in weird ways, where he wouldn't have been technically lying about it, just to say that we're going on different paths. Rob attempted to still pursue some type of relationship with Jupis, regardless of him being, having a whole family at home. I said I needed to think about it because last time I was interested in him, he had a secret fiance. I didn't know about it and it made me upset. He told me that it would be his fault and I wouldn't be a homewrecker. Ultimately, I told him no. She said that she felt the way Rob was putting this out here, it was a strictly thing and she was not into that. She wanted something that had a little bit more substance within a relationship, that had more compassion, love, understanding, and this was not it. She said that she was uncomfortable with the idea of still working for him after this and politely told him I couldn't work for him anymore. He didn't respond to me at all after I said that. Jupis goes on to say that this really hurt her and she ended up crying over this because he didn't respond. She thought they were friends after all of these years. I was even more shocked to find out that he has a wife and a child. I didn't know about this the whole time he's been talking to me. You would think that this information would be something that you would tell somebody. She says, I'm concerned about that child having to grow up with a father like that. I'm not sure on the situation with his wife or if she's okay with his behavior, but he definitely doesn't tell the women that he does this with that he's married with a child. She goes on to tweet, this man straight up is trying to manipulate me in text to feel bad because he says he keeps his family secret to protect them. Nah, you're getting inappropriate images under the guise that you're single. These women have messaged me with the same stories. It's a pattern of behavior. That's absolutely a pattern of behavior. Like it's one thing to say, it's one thing to keep your family out of the spotlight, and it's another thing to pretend that they don't exist at all. This is like a millions and millions of subbed YouTuber, and no one knows he's got like a whole family. Like even the Google results, Google actually says that his personal life is a mystery as he's not known to have had a wife and he's not mentioned any love interests in conversations. It might be safe to say that the internet celebrity is single. Jupis goes on to post a screenshot of a text message from Rob where she says married men with families don't send stuff like this to women. He says, okay, here it is, my proposition. You are this person, this wicked cool person who is likely insanely attractive and stuff, and I'm this red-blooded straight guy who is woof. And I wanted to see if you'd be up for an arrangement where I pay for content, like adult content. Oh God, help me. From you, that's obviously kept, as I've stated, secret as a MFer forever. And I help. This is really weird. And I help speed along your progress to get stuff paid and on your way and stuff like that. And if you're totally not down for this, that's totally okay. I would never pressure you in any way whatsoever, and you obviously don't have to answer now. This is really not good because this is one of his employees on his staff. Like, this is something you don't say, and not to mention that he's married and has a wife and a kid. Shame. I just wanted to go ahead and add this in here. Like, there's OnlyFans. Like, you can support workers. You don't have to, like, it's just so odd to go after, like, your fans and your employees, and that's not cool. And then somebody quotes tweets saying, retweeting this again because not only does he have a wife and a child, but they struggled for years to conceive, and the poor woman nearly passed away during her pregnancy. He told me this himself, and this is how he repays her. One user saying, and I didn't think it could have been worse than it was. Wow. An anonymous person posts their story saying, I've known Rob for over 10 years, so you can imagine I've had my fair share of experiences with him. Going on to say that she sent inappropriate images of herself to Rob on multiple occasions, and he did offer to pay for them. Like the majority of people, I believed Rob was a single man. Now knowing that we had inappropriate conversations whilst his wife and child were probably in the same room makes me feel sick. Another person's story and solidifying a pattern of behavior. I became friends with Rob in January 2018. He started talking to me on his Discord server and protected me from dangerous people. Going on to say that they chatted about perverted stuff and occasionally he asked her for racy photos. Nothing was off limits. Many of our conversations would become increasingly inappropriate. I thought it was fun and flirty banter for two single people. The nature of our conversations are something I strongly prefer never to have with a married man. As soon as I found out the truth, I was in shock. How could he do this to his family, to his wife? Another person saying that in 2016 they would Snapchat, he would flirt with me, compliment me, and reassure me when my mental health would suffer. Clearly I did have feelings for him, but I never thought I had a chance with him considering our 9-year age gap and distance. He had a way of making me feel special, even though I figured he was this kind with all of his female fans. Now that I have heard from numerous former fans, I see a recognizable pattern of him seeking to talk to his female fans, befriending them and soliciting them for inappropriate images, or even more than that. It looks to me like this is another YouTuber that was leveraging their power to get specific things from their viewers. It bothers me a lot. It bothers me a lot that he was doing this to people that he was employing. That's not a good boss. That's not a good work relationship or environment. I'm sure that felt really bad. Another thing, I don't see or hear of any of these girls being underaged. So these were girls that were at the youngest 20, I believe, and shows signs of an obvious pattern of behavior. And as current, Rob has not replied on any of these stories, not anything about this. It's not being covered. I looked to see if anybody else was saying anything about this. Nobody was, so I stepped up to the plate and wanted to see what we could do about this. I think that he definitely owes an apology to his family for sure. I go to his page and I see him speaking about inappropriate behavior and commenting on it, and it just feels weird knowing that he's not responded to this or any of this at all. I would like to hear a reply from him about this. If anybody else out there has any experiences with Rob Gavagan, formerly Rob Dyke, then you can DM me on Instagram. Give me a couple days to get back with you, but you will hear back from me. And everybody stay safe out there, and I will keep up with updates on this. Because as interesting as this is, there's always something that's more interesting to me. That's right, you guessed it. I want to know what you think. So why don't you go ahead and leave your creative or interesting responses in the comment box below. Thumbs up for those likes as always, brothers and sisters. I will see you in the next video. That's not good. I remember I've watched a lot of this guy's true crime videos. Would have never thought anything of this. It is very weird that he goes out of his way to keep his family secret. Not just secret, it's like, I understand not putting him in a spotlight or talking about him, but it's then you're gonna solicit inappropriate images. That's not good. That's not good behavior at all. I am really sleepy. Are you sleeping well? Hey, make sure you're sleeping good because it makes you feel better mentally well. Drink water. And thank you to my patrons. If you want to support me here on this channel and become a member of my Patreons and get your name at the end of my videos, the link will be in the pinned comment. I want to thank everybody that's donated to the fundraiser. We are currently over 80% of the way to goal. We're about to get it, and I'm really proud of this. It means a lot. If you have donated, let me know in the comment section below. The fundraiser is to the right of me on desktop, below me on mobile. And it's just another way to show that you're repping. If you're not repping, you gotta get how you do that. All you gotta do is subscribe, notifications turned on, be in the comment section to every single video because I'm gonna be there. Greg the Cat's gonna be there, and the rest of the Repzilla community as well. And I expect to see you there too because this channel loves you. Rob, that's no good, man.